Hey everyone, and welcome back to KenkoVibe. I'm Ethan Reed, and I'm pumped for today's deep dive.
And I'm Grace Morgan, ready to break down the science behind it all.
Today we're tackling a topic that's got everyone talking, the ketogenic diet and its potential link to testosterone levels.
It's a fascinating connection for sure, and we're going to unpack it all right here.
So first things first, what exactly is the ketogenic diet? For those who might be new to the concept.
Well, think of it like this. You're basically shifting your body's primary fuel source. Instead of relying on carbs for energy, you drastically cut them back.
Okay, so you're kind of forcing your body to burn fat for fuel instead.
Exactly. You're flipping the switch on your metabolism, making it run on a totally different energy source. And it's not easy. Less than 5% of people stick with it long term.
Yeah, diets are tough, but if this one can really impact testosterone, it might be worth exploring.
Right, and to understand that connection, we need to talk about blood sugar and testosterone. Turns out they're more connected than you might think.
Okay, now you've got my attention. Tell me more about this blood sugar-testosterone link.
Well, high blood sugar is often linked to lower testosterone, and insulin resistance is a big part of that equation.
Insulin resistance. For those of us who didn't go to med school, can you break that down a bit?
Sure. Imagine insulin as a key that unlocks your cells to let sugar in for energy.
Okay, I'm with you.
Now, with insulin resistance, your cells become less responsive to insulin's signal. It's like the lock is rusty and the key doesn't quite fit.
So the sugar can't get into the cells efficiently and it builds up in your blood.
Exactly. And this whole disrupted communication between insulin and cells seems to mess with testosterone levels too.
Fascinating. But how does insulin resistance actually impact testosterone? That's the million-dollar question, isn't it?
Well, scientists are still working out all the details, but there's growing evidence pointing to insulin's influence on mitochondria. You know those tiny powerhouses inside our cells?
Oh, yeah. I remember those from biology class. They're the ones that keep our cells running right.
Right. And research suggests that insulin resistance can disrupt their function, potentially impacting how testosterone is processed in the body.
So it's like a domino effect.
Yeah.
Insulin resistance affects the mitochondria, which then messes with testosterone production. Wow, it's amazing how everything's connected in the body.
Absolutely. And this brings us to the potential role of the ketogenic diet.
Okay, let's talk keto. If it can help regulate blood sugar and improve insulin sensitivity, could it be the secret to boosting testosterone?
There's definitely some interesting research suggesting it might be a possibility. Some studies have shown that following a ketogenic diet can actually lead to significant increases in testosterone levels.
So the keto diet could potentially create a more favorable environment for testosterone production by tackling that root issue of blood sugar and insulin.
That's the theory, but it's important to remember that insulin is likely just one piece of the puzzle.
There's always more to the story, right? Our bodies are so complex.
Exactly. Other hormonal factors and individual variations could play a role too.
So while the research on keto and testosterone is promising, it's not a simple eat this, get that kind of solution.
Definitely not. There's still a lot more to uncover, and we're really just scratching the surface.
And with a diet as unique as keto, it's got to be super important to proceed with caution, right?
Absolutely. We need to be realistic about the demands and potential challenges of such a restrictive diet.
Plus, everyone's body responds differently. What works for one person might not be suitable for another.
Exactly, and that's why it's so important to consult with a healthcare professional before making any major dietary changes. They can help you figure out if keto is right for you and guide you through it safely.
Personalized advice is key, right? What works for your friend or neighbor might not be the best approach for you.
Exactly. And while the potential link between keto and testosterone is exciting, it's important to approach it with a balanced perspective.
So it's not just about jumping on the keto bandwagon because it's trendy. It's about understanding the science, weighing the potential benefits and risks, and making informed decisions for your own health.
Exactly. And speaking of a balanced perspective, let's not forget that even if the keto diet does positively impact testosterone, it's not the only factor to consider when it comes to feeling your best.
Right, it's all about the bigger picture. It's about adopting a holistic approach to health that goes beyond any single dietary intervention.
Absolutely. Things like managing stress, prioritizing sleep, and incorporating regular exercise all played a vital role in hormonal balance and overall health.
It's about addressing multiple aspects of your lifestyle, not just focusing on one thing.
Exactly. For instance, chronic stress can really mess with your hormones, including testosterone. When you're constantly stressed out, your body pumps out cortisol, which can suppress testosterone production.
So it's like a hormonal tug of war, and stress often wins, unfortunately.
That's a great analogy. And speaking of things that can throw off your hormonal balance, sleep deprivation is another culprit. When you don't get enough shut-eye, your body produces less testosterone.
I know. I definitely feel the effects of a bad night's sleep. It impacts everything.
Yeah.
My mood, my energy, even my focus.
It's amazing how interconnected everything is. Sleep, stress hormones, they all work together to influence our overall well-being.
And let's not forget about exercise. I've always heard that lifting weights can be beneficial for testosterone. Is there any truth to that?
Absolutely. When you engage in resistance training, like lifting weights, your muscles signal your brain to produce more testosterone to help with muscle repair and growth.
So it's like a positive feedback loop.
Yeah.
You lift weights, your body produces more testosterone, and that helps you build more muscle. Pretty cool.
Exactly. And it doesn't have to be anything extreme. Even moderate exercise a few times a week can make a difference. Whether it's hitting the gym, going for a run, or just taking a brisk walk, staying active is key.
It's about finding activities you enjoy and making movement a regular part of your routine. And remember, consistency is key. Even small, consistent efforts over time can have a significant impact on your health and well-being.
Well said. It's about building healthy habits that you can sustain long term. So we've covered the basics of keto, its potential link to testosterone, and the importance of a holistic approach to health. But before we wrap up, there's one more crucial aspect we need to address: the ethical considerations surrounding testosterone.
That's an important point. Testosterone is a powerful hormone, and any discussion about manipulating its levels needs to be approached with caution and responsibility.
Absolutely. There are potential risks associated with artificially elevating testosterone levels, both physically and ethically. It's crucial to remember that testosterone therapy is a medical treatment that should only be considered under the guidance of a qualified healthcare professional.
Right. It's not something to be taken lightly. And
Yeah.
before anyone even thinks about going down that road, it's imperative to have a conversation with their doctor to understand the potential risks, benefits, and ethical implications.
Couldn't agree more. They can provide personalized advice based on your individual circumstances and help you make informed decisions about your health.
And remember, there are natural ways to support healthy testosterone levels, like the lifestyle factors we discussed earlier. It's about prioritizing your overall well-being and making choices that align with your values.
It's all about finding what works for you, right? Your own personal recipe for wellness.
Exactly. There's no one-size-fits-all approach to health.
And that's actually a perfect segue into my final thought for our listeners today.
I'm all ears.
Remember that knowledge is power. The more you understand about your body, the more you can advocate for your own health.
Couldn't agree more. And there's so much information out there these days, it can be overwhelming.
It really can. That's why it's so important to be discerning about the sources you trust.
Right. Not all information is created equal. Look for credible sources, talk to your doctor, do your research.
And remember, everyone's different. What works for one person might not work for another. So listen to your body, pay attention to how you feel, and don't be afraid to adjust your approach as needed.
So true. Well, I think that just about wraps up our deep dive into keto and testosterone.
We covered a lot of ground today, didn't we?
We did. From the science behind the ketogenic diet to the link between blood sugar insulin and testosterone.
And of course, we talked about the importance of a holistic approach to health.
Absolutely. Stress management, sleep, exercise,
Yeah.
it all plays a role.
We hope this information has been helpful for our listeners.
And as always, if you're considering any major lifestyle changes, especially something like the keto diet, please talk to your doctor first.
They can help you make sure it's the right choice for you.
That's it for today's episode of the KenkoVibe podcast.
I'm Grace Morgan.
And I'm Ethan Reed. Thanks for tuning in, and we'll see you next time for another deep dive into the world of health and wellness. Don't forget to subscribe, like, comment, and share this episode with your friends and family.